Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angry Prepper. So today's video, we're going to talk about the pandemic ending according to Biden. Now, guys, the last 2 years was a ride and a half. I mean, it's not going to get any less exciting. It's probably going to get a lot more exciting in the next couple of months to the next couple of years. But turning around and ending a pandemic that didn't need to be a pandemic is, I guess, the more infuriating thing right now, at least for me, because by that definition, guys, of President Biden announcing that it's over, that means every last mandate and restriction needs to end today, the day that he announced it. That means every school, college, hospital, every city mandate and restriction needs to end today. Not let's come up with a plan to end it, just end it. Now, being that we didn't need all these restrictions and mandates because they all failed, every last one of them failed. Not one single restriction or mandate worked for this pandemic, not one. China, they did it wrong, and they're continuously doing it wrong, and they're probably never going to break out of that state of pandemic because of control. Here in the United States, they're stopping it for what reason? Now, the only reason I could think of them ending it is for the elections, right? The midterm elections, rather, sorry. And so that things are back to normal. But again, guys, doing something like that, at least for us who are on it, who are paying attention, we know that this is bullshit. We can see through this. We can see this. We saw this a million miles coming. We knew, and a lot of you said it in the description, in the comment section, that they were going to end the pandemic for the elections. And look what they did. The midterms elections. Sorry, guys. So with that, guys, I mean, listen, everybody now who was fired, everybody who was made fun of, lost friends and family members over this shit. Now, how do you recover from that? Are you going to get your job back? Am I going to get my job back? Are they going to start rehiring those that they fired who didn't get the arm ticket? We are, guys, a lot of us now, especially with this announcement, is probably upset, pissed off, infuriated, and looking for fucking more answers. Now, we knew that at some point they were going to have to end this one, but does that mean there's another pandemic around the corner and that they're going to start making more restrictions and mandates for that? We don't know. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. But all I know, guys, is that this is pretty shitty, because if cities like New York, California don't start dropping the mandates, is there going to be, listen, there's going to be lawsuits anyway. There are a lot of lawsuits in play right now. There are a lot of dockets in courts coming up with Supreme Courts, state Supreme Courts, and it's going to be filed in their favor. But for all of that, guys, to now end up in court to get your job back, and now that the pandemic's over, that means a lot of these cases are going to be won. But again, why have us go through all of this shit for something that didn't need to be? Listen, I have to say, if this was a Ebola crisis or a Marsburg crisis, okay, fine. Mandates, restrictions, and see what works. And when it's not working, then you're going to have to pivot. You're going to have to switch. But they didn't do that. They kept with these stupid, non-working restrictions. And for what? Again, for people to lose their jobs. For now, hopefully people to get back on their jobs, being that everything's over, according to the President of the United States. Now, here's the interesting thing. There are people, at least on Twitter, and I know Twitter universe is a bunch of morons that hang out on there. They're about as bad as the QAnon people, the Twitter universe, that is. There are people who are upset that he ended the pandemic. There are doctors, nurses, and politicians that are upset he ended the mandates. He ended the control. Because by him announcing that, guys, that means every state that still has a state mandate in place, or a state of emergency in place, they have to end it today. That means that's a loss of power. So I can see why politicians are pissed off, because that means they're losing that power that they had over their city and state. Because by saying that the pandemic is over, you have to end your state of emergency. So anyway, guys, I know this is a bit of a rant because, again, like when I woke up and I saw that this morning, I was like, this fucking guy. You know, like, we knew that it was going to end, But making the decision because you felt like it or because the numbers are dropping, which, listen, the numbers have been dropping for the last, supposedly, the numbers have been dropping for the last year. With that being said, then this should have ended a year ago, before a lot of us got fired. But again, it's what they say. It's the power that we gave them that we need to take back. We need to take this power back from them, guys. And again, you know where I'm going with this needing to take the power back. I don't need to repeatedly say it because at some point they're going to get rid of this channel. So, guys, for those of you that got let go, for those of you that got fired, if you didn't move on, get your job back. Fucking start reading them the riot act, start putting the screws to your job, and get your job back. At this point, guys, it's principle now. It's not about money. It's not about fucking life. It's about fucking principle and getting it back. Because if he ended that, that means every other mandate and restriction needs to end today. Anyway, guys, with that, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Truth channel. I'll see you in the next video.